Uh, if anyone has a question, yesterday, late afternoon, I had a very unique experience with somebody. And, well, it wasn't so unique, but it was very interesting. This person I've known for maybe 3 or 4 years has been studying with me and, is becoming a very good student, really deeply in need of a spiritual life. She called me up to tell me about all the pain she's going through. And this was like a FaceTime call. And, what to do. And then, the conversation eventually evolved into her life, what she'd been, what she grew out of, what she was like, a number of years ago. And what she was like was, you really can't get in a more difficult situation that she came out of. It was pretty horrible. And I said to her, I said, look, I said, you have pain now, but in comparison, to what your life was like 10 years ago, it's a living miracle today. You have some pain, okay, you'll be able to work through this pain. But you can never forget where you came from, what you were living like 10 years ago, how, people had given you up for dead, they didn't think you were going to survive what you were going through. So you look at your life today and you see how far you've come, what has transpired over these years, and, she told me that this meditation basically saved her life. And I said, well, just have that gratitude in your heart. It'll get you through the pain. And remember, don't forget where you were 10 years ago, 8 years ago. And people had given you up for dead. They thought they were looking in the obituary column to see whether or not you were still alive. And I think this is something that most of us forget, where we were. I know in my life, I don't forget where I was before I met my teacher, Rudy. And every time that memory comes up, my heart is filled with so much gratitude to how my life, transposed itself, how it changed, how I'm living today, what my life is like today. You don't forget. And you need to, you don't want to go back there. That's a memory that's, I don't want to ever go back there. But you need that memory as a reminder of how far one has come in their life. And it was very interesting to listen to this woman talk about herself, and how she was living and how really she had reached the bottom of the heap. It doesn't get much worse than what she was describing to me. And, she's alive. Years later, she's alive. She found a meditation practice that helped her crawl out of the gutter, crawl out of this terrible life she was living, this really full of just torturing herself. And to me, it was an amazing experience to listen to somebody, first of all, complaining about some pain they're going through, and then telling me about their life, which was serious pain. I'm talking beyond the pale, the way she was living, as a younger person. And I said, just be grateful. I said, look, remember where you came from. Look at your life today. Look how beautiful you've become. Look at what has taken place in your life today. And just feel gratitude. That'll get you through the pain. And we all have something like that. I don't know, couldn't be, maybe it's not quite as severe as this person, but there's always the things that we had to crawl out of, the difficulties in our life. And you look back at them and then you see how you're living today. And you really let gratitude guide your life, how much life has changed, how different life is. And I think for me, what she was talking about although my experience was different, it certainly was almost as devastating what I went through when I was a younger person. And it really reminded me, Stuart, never forget what you were like the day before you met your teacher, Rudy, and what his patience, his love, his teaching, his wisdom imparted to you so that you were able to grow and you were able to build a life for yourself that was beyond, I mean, anything beyond I could have ever dreamed of building before I met him. So what I'm saying is we all go through some kind of hell in life, you know? I mean, and we can't forget it. We don't want to go back there. We don't want to relive it, but we have to remind ourselves where we came from, what life was like before. And to me, it just brings this profound joy, gratitude, it's like it doesn't even matter what the hell is going on in the world, all the craziness with pandemics and all the politics and crazy. I remember what I was like when I was 25 years old and what my life was like. And my heart just fills with joy, with gratitude. And I can bring that gratitude to all of you. It's the reason I do these meditation classes, out of sheer gratitude for the miracle of what my life has become. And I can't think of another reason to do it than hopefully to help another human being find that depth of gratitude, that depth, of commitment in themselves, to remember the difficulties they had to fight their way through in life and just where they are today. They're alive, they're breathing, and we all have problems. I mean, everybody has some kind of, if you'll pardon my expression, bullshit they have to live with every day. But it's also a reminder that we have to keep doing deep inner work. And to me, I used to hear my teacher talk about the gratitude he had to his teachers who helped him, fight his way out of hell. And so when I listen to people tell me these things about their life, okay, we all go through something like that. It's different for every human being, but it's basically the same. It's the dark night of the soul, or whatever they call it, 40 days and nights in the desert, whatever they call it in those old books. But that's what it is. We all go through it. And when we look back at it, we have to feel gratitude. We have to feel joy and love in our hearts to where we have come to today and how we're living today. And the miracle of life that is inside us, which gives us all the opportunity to continue to grow and to continue to build our inner life. So it was really an amazing conversation I had with this woman. It was amazing, I tell you, And by the end of the conversation, both of us were just glowing. I mean, I looked at her, I said, look, you're 19 years old, you look like a young girl, and it was really wonderful. But it was a very incredible reminder that, that one has to really be grateful and do the work you need to do in the present, today, in the now.
It's 2:00.
Does anyone have a question they would like to ask? I hope it's clear what I'm talking about. And it's naive to think that difficult things aren't going to take place in one's life. It takes a lot of guts to say, okay, I will go through those tests with gratitude in my heart. The fact that I'm alive, I have the strength to deal with these things. I have the capacity to transform them into a spiritual life. And just feel the miracle of God. You know, it's inside every human being. Does anyone have a question they would like to ask?
Stuart?
Yes, for
It's not a question, it's just I want to tell you that I am going the same. I have a pain in my heart and my lungs when I'm with you because I'm going deeper and deeper. It's very, very hard. And 2 or 3 days again, I have to work by myself. But it helped when you said, now I have to say to myself, but I am strong, I want to transform.
no, listen, you know, the pain in your heart is just really, there's nothing wrong with you. I can just look at you and see there's nothing wrong with you. The pain is you arriving at a place of having to open your heart and having to feel a deep sense of unconditional love. And there's the resistance, and that's creating the pain. And the resistance comes from years of not doing this. So you're feeling that pain because I can see there's nothing wrong with you. I mean, you're very clear, but you've arrived at a place where you're going to take a new step in your inner work, and it's the opening of the heart. And the pain is being caused by your resistance to doing this. And the resistance comes from years of being conditioned in living a different way. And
I think I have two experienced difficulties in my life. When I was little, I don't remember, but my bodies remember. And that I see here now.
I can see that. And Flor, just feel gratitude. I mean, just feel joy. Look at your wonderful children you have. Look at the life you have. You're a very beautiful woman. Feel gratitude in yourself. I'm telling you, you do that, and that pain is going to go away. It's really going to go away.
Thank you.
I had a difficult life. I mean, I was in an airplane crash. Who walks away from an airplane crash?
Wow.
You know, I mean this. You want to hear some stuff about? I was in a jail 3 weeks before I met my teacher. You know, I've had my life has been, you know, completely amazing, the kind of stuff I've been through. And I can go on to even worse than these things that I went through as testing of whether or not I would continue to grow. You know, I mean, we've all been through our hell. I mean, I look at myself, I hit a mountain, you know, and my teacher, Rudy, he died in that airplane crash. Person I loved the most in the world. I had so much gratitude to him. You know, he saved my life. And then he saved my life in that airplane crash. I was holding his hand when we hit a mountain. And his soul force came right into me. And it's the only reason I'm sitting here and doing this today. I mean, you know, you want to hear experiences that people have gone through. I can tell you a few, you know, and here I am doing what I do, you know? I mean, you all, I hope, never have to go through anything like that. But in our own ways, we all go through stuff like that, difficult things we've been through in our lives. And what enabled me to do it is the realization. I said, Stuart, the first thing I thought really was when I realized that my teacher had taken his samadhi, he was gone. I thanked him for letting me be with him at the last moment of his life, even if it was in a plane crash. I thanked him for that. And the second thing is I said, Stuart, now you'll find out what the last 6 years were really about. Can you sustain this inner work? Can you do the depth of spiritual work he prepared you to do? And I never forgot that. And I would look at myself in the mirror every day and I would see a living miracle. I had a purpose for being in the world. God, you know, gave me a life after the most traumatic thing that could happen to a person, hitting a mountain in an airplane. And it stayed with me now. It's, I don't know, my God, how long it is. It was 1973. So it's 40, almost 50 years. I have had this motivation inside me and gratitude that enables me to do what I do today. But I never forget that my life is a living miracle. And in a sense, everybody's life is a living miracle. The fact that we get up in the morning in this crazy world that we live in is a living miracle. And we can never take it for granted. So trust me, Flora, you're going to get through this.
Thank you.
You're going to get through it. Just like yourself and love yourself. And you're a wonderful person. I say, look at these beautiful children you have, you know?
Thank you.
Wonderful.
I know.
Wonderful person.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask? Okay, well, again, we'll have class again on Thursday. And God bless you all and thank you. And I'm very grateful to be here and do this, and bless every one of you. And stay safe, wear a mask, you know, be healthy, and I'll see everybody on Thursday. Bless you. Thank you.
Thank you, Stuart.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Stuart.